Hola Eurovision fans, welcome back to the V.I.P YouTube channel, your #1 pit stop for all things Eurovision this year, and it's time to turn to Spain as we focus on Benidorm Fest 2025. That time has come again where we turn our focus to the 16 songs that the Spanish fans will be selecting from Benidorm Fest 2025. Semi-finals have not been selected yet and I cannot wait any longer, so this is going to be a mammoth video where I race through all 16 entries and tell you which ones I love, which ones I don't, and who I want Spain to be represented by in Basel this May. Is it Basel? Is it Basel? Still don't know. Now, let's talk a little bit Benidorm Fest. I started watching this in 2022, so this will be my 4th year. 2022 was fantastic. 2023 was my favourite of all of the national finals that year. Benidorm Fest was so good that year. We had Blanca Paloma, Agoni, Fusa Nocta, Vico. Last year felt like a little bit of a dip. I still enjoyed Nebulosa and I still listened to Here to Stay quite a bit, but I do feel like the quality dipped, so I am hoping 2025 can take us back up to the echelons of what Spain do so well, because when Spain are on top of their game, they are still one of the best nations at Eurovision for me, and they were one of the highlights of Eurovision 2025. I was there in Malmö, and there was this kind of tense atmosphere in the air in Malmö because of, you know, the whole Israel thing, but one of the biggest shining lights was the Spanish fans just being so patriotic. Almost every train we got on, there were Spanish fans singing Zorra. The Spanish fans are so passionate and I've come to absolutely adore that. As I say, there's a lot to react to here, so I'm not going to waste any more time. But before we do begin, as ever, I'd love to remind you to subscribe to this channel. We're only in January, but I'm going to be taking you all the way through till May, reacting to every single song, giving you predictions. Give this video a like if you enjoy this whole vibe, and hit that bell if you want notifications every time I upload a video. Whew. Let's take a breather. We've got 16 songs to go through and I am going in alphabetical order. We're starting off with Carla Frigo and the song is called Bésame. Fingers crossed Spain, I want this to be the national final of the year, but I'm about to find out if that's going to be the case. Let's go. I feel like this is going to be a youthful start. Okay, it's got a really like chill vibe about it. That kind of thing that makes you want to like slow groove. I'm enjoying this. There was almost like no build up to this actual drop to get me super excited, but I'm liking the energy. It feels a bit all over the place structurally. Like there's bits that I do love about it. I feel like this could go harder, like I said, but the actual vibe I like, the genre I like. It feels like it's slightly flat structurally. I'm bopping though. This is going to come down to how she performs it because this needs levels to me. I've just got to see how she performs this. That could bring this all to life. In terms of, you know, the actual vibe of the song, I really like this. I think it's very fun, it's very contemporary. I love that kind of deep dance groove. I'm seeing lasers, I'm seeing like dark black and then like red lighting. I'm kind of hoping they can bring this quite a sexual vibe to the performance. To me, as I said throughout, the structure was the problem. That like I liked all of the parts of it, but I never felt like I got like a... For me, I'm giving this in my head the kind of understanding that I would probably really like to listen to this in studio version. I'm just questioning how it translates to the stage, how it translates to Eurovision. That's where this is falling slightly short for me, but it's an exciting start and shows me that Spain are ready to take risks. I'm excited from song 1 and I think Carla Frigo has a really cool vibe about her and I'm interested to see how this translates to the stage. Definitely interested, and that's a good starting point. Right, let's move on to song number 2 now. We have Celine Van Heel, love that name already, and the song is La Casa. Are we going to be keeping the vibes up all the way through to the second song? Let's find out. Take me to the salsa club already! In love with the tone of her voice already. One of the things I'm loving about this most is that this could really only be sent by either Spain or Portugal. The identity is strong through this one. This, I mean, production-wise feels great. I'm loving the whole vibe of this. It's retro, it's classically salsa. It knows exactly who it is. I hope she can bring this live. Ooh! This doesn't let up. Yeah. That was so much fun. I don't know if the general opinion of that will be that it's, I don't know, maybe it sounds too dated, but to me, that would be a really great entry. I mean, nothing is going to sound like that at this year's Eurovision. And if you heard it, you would go, oh, that must be Spain or Portugal, which in my head is a great thing. I think that Spain do really well when they really sort of embrace their culture. This would do that 100%. It really represents a Latin flavour. It does it in a really cool way. It's very loyal to sort of the retro sound, but doesn't sound to me dated. I think it still carries just as much fun, makes you want to dance, it makes your hips want to swivel. The camera does not go down that low, but if it did, my hips were giving it some the whole time. The gyration was happening. I think this is going to remain one of my favourites, and even though it's not like the most modern sounding thing in the world, I'm kind of like, what would happen if Spain said something like this? I think it could be good. You've certainly got a fan in me, that's for sure. Right, we're moving on to song number 3 now. We're off to a very energetic start, really enjoying this so far. Thumbs up for Benidorm Fest 2025 so far. We move on now to Chica Sobresalto, and the song is Feminista. I am currently wishing I had like videos or something to go off, but I'm gonna let my imagination do the talking. Oh. I quite like this. It's not overly exciting. I'm not sure it would stand out a lot, but it makes a nice studio track. I like that the pace has picked up a bit here. It's pleasant. Doesn't help that it's come right after the party atmosphere of Celine, but it's nice. I still really like the tone of the voice. I quite like the chilled vibe of this one. But it's not completely chill, there is a bit of a fire inside that production that's pushing it along nicely. I think this is one that I would like to know the lyrics, what they meant, because I'm reading that it's talking about like equality and feminism, and so I'm missing out on some of that story, but I do like the energy of this one. Reading a little bit more about this song certainly makes me think that some of this may be lost in translation. I can imagine this being really powerful to people who speak Spanish. I don't, so all I have to go off is really like the energy that it gives me, especially when I'm looking at a static image. It's very calm, it's very cool, it's very sort of light and breezy, but it still had like a pulsating beat by it in the verses, which helped keep things interesting. I was never bored at any point, but I can't say that it really made me super excited as well. An important song to have in the mix. You can't just have 16 bangers, and I think it's really great that there are messages being brought that I'm sure will really resonate to a lot of people at home. From the view of purely just an English-speaking reactor, and this song is going to go out to, 37 countries voting at Eurovision. I'm not sure it's going to be the most universal. I'm not sure it'd light the scoreboard alive. I'm not sure it would excite many people. But it's certainly not a bad song by any means, just not sure it's completely ready to make that impact at Eurovision, and that is what we're working with here. Okay, moving on to song number 4 now. This is Daniela Blasco, and the song is Oh Nana. I think I'm gonna like this from title alone. They didn't even wait a single second to bring in the energy there. I was like, okay. I just know this is a performer with attitude. This is certainly an interesting song. It feels slightly dated to me, is the only thing I'll say so far. It's a little bit all over the place structurally, like what bit am I exactly meant to get stuck in my head here? I like something about it, but it feels slightly like it's in the demo stage. Like this chorus isn't hitting as much as it should, and it feels like it's still in the works to become the anthem it wants to be. I have no doubt she'll perform the shit out of this, but I don't think the song's quite good enough. Okay, I was saying there wasn't a hook to get stuck in your head, but I will be ooh na na, eh, for the rest of the night, so it is fun. Like, if you're not thinking about this as a Eurovision song, it's fun. Okay, I feel like I may have been harsh on that song, not because I don't like it, because I do, and I've got a feeling Daniela Blasco is going to be a firecracker on stage. But female bops are what I do, so I kind of hold things up to a certain standard. And I really, really liked Carla Frigo's song and Celine Van Heel's song because I thought they both felt very assured of what they were as a whole vibe. This song felt a bit all over the place. A bit like they were throwing a bit too much into the mix to really try and make an exciting song, but at times it felt structurally messy. I did feel like the production could have gone a bit harder as well. It did feel a little bit, maybe not like they've got the best producer on this. Like, it's slightly like it's in its demo stages, and I feel like we're listening to the song that would be like this person's first attempt, and then they'll come back in like 5 years with a bit more experience in the industry, and they're gonna absolutely knock it out of the park. As it is, this is like a solid intro, but can I say that I wasn't dancing? No, I was dancing the whole time. It was fun, it was energetic, it brought the party atmosphere, and I do think this will be very good live. I just have doubts over quite how professional it sounds. Carrying on in alphabetical order, we have David Afonso. This is Amor, Barato. Are we taking the pace down now? It's probably about time. Really like his voice again. Spanish men just sound sexier. This language is so sexy. I'm liking the vibe of this one. This feels quite classic again, not in the same way that Celine did, where it was giving me like salsa vibes, but I feel like this is giving me like 2000s Mark Anthony. There's a level of like class about this song, I feel. There's like an essence of like slow sensuality about this, and I again have to see what he does with this live to see whether he's a confident performer. I need the steel in his eyes performing this. That kind of like horns, brass vibe behind it. I enjoy that a lot. I don't think this is going to be one of my most played by any chance, but likeable. I like that. As I said, do I see myself listening to that? Not necessarily, but there's something that, especially like in comparison to the last song where I said it felt a little bit amateur, a little bit like it was still finding itself, this song felt very self-assured. It was just very easy, breezy, sensual, traditionally Latin. Don't think this will be a winner, but I think this would be a really worthy finalist. I see this getting through the semi-finals. Is it the most to my taste? No, but does it achieve what it wants to achieve with ease? Yes. And that's what we're here for, guys and girls. Song number 6 now is continue to try to race through this. This is DeTeresa with Pena, and this cover is already making me excited. She's been stabbed with an olive. Oh, what a switch up. Spain are really giving it to me with that. You didn't see this coming so far. Again, what a voice. This is giving me like a theatricality. One thing I am finding interesting about this is, again, it's giving me like a retro vibe, but her vocals sound very heavily like vocoded, you know, that Charlie XCX thing, which I assume they can't recreate on the Benidorm Fest stage. It's the only thing I'm confused by, but the rest, love. Ah! The vocals are slightly bothering me now that I've noticed the vocoder auto-tune is bothering me a bit. first thing I'm going to talk about is like the production of that, because I thought that was impeccable. That was my biggest problem with the songs by Carla Frigo and Daniela Blasco, is that sometimes I felt like they were trying to do too much, or like there was no build up to the changes. But with this song, all of the different switch ups in sound felt like they were like earned, like the production really went, oh, and here, and here. And they shocked you, but in a way that didn't feel like, oh, you're just doing this for the sake of it. It all felt very thought through. Really, the whole vibe felt very theatrical, very cinematic. The only thing that started to put me off, and I only noticed it halfway through the song, was that amongst this very sort of beautiful cinematic vibe that I was getting, was this like really heavily vocoded vocal. I don't see that that's something that they're going to be able to do live, and I think I might prefer it without that additional, because sometimes it felt way too processed for the simple beauty of the song that I was getting a little bit thrown. Maybe that's the point, maybe that's what DeTeresa does, and maybe I'm missing the whole point of that, but to me, it felt like a distraction from some of the natural beauty that this song possessed. So, again, definitely what I'm going to need to see live so that I can understand exactly how they want to package it. But what I can tell you is that it was certainly another exciting entry, and we are 6 for 6 now on songs that really made me smile. I'm not bored. I'm like, give me the next song. I'm truly flinging this pencil about like I'm the judge and jury here, aren't I? Anyway, moving on now to song number 7, and we have Henry Semler, and the song is No Lo Des. I wouldn't be mad if this stayed as a ballad. We haven't had a full ballad yet. This is pretty. Again, I really like the vocal. And from what we've heard so far, this will stand out. I don't think a song like this is ever going to be one of my favourites, just out of, you know, personal preference, but it's not bad by any means. I think with like male ballads, they really have to bring something special for me to really jump out. I'm not sure this has got like that added flavour to really make it stand out. Like, what makes this different to many other ballads that we've heard? I'm not hearing much. I need a bit more oomph. I do like that we've brought the tempo down though, and it's just a nice, pleasant ballad. No bells and whistles. Not every song needs it. This sort of song is never going to be a favourite of mine. You know, ballads have to really tug at my heartstrings to grab me. I can't say that my heartstrings were grabbed, but it's a very pretty ballad performed by a very good vocalist, and I mean, some things are just a matter of taste, and this just isn't like the most tasteful thing for me. But what I will say is that we're on song number 7 now, and that's the first ballad so far. We've had a lot of wham bam, shocking moments, and I think that this so far definitely stands out if they can just really appeal to the simplicity of the performance, of the vocal style, of the arrangement. If they can keep all of this simplistic but in a very tasteful way, then this could enjoy success for that reason. It's just not going to be a favourite of mine. Next up, we have Kbello, and the song is V.I.P. We're halfway there, guys. But what is Kbello going to bring me? Put that pencil down. I already fancy him, if that helps. I really like his voice, and again, this is something I can see doing quite well. This feels very modern. Banger, banger, banger. This of everything feels like the sort of thing I would see in like Spain's top 50 on Spotify. Like, it could blend in with that seamlessly. It's got like a strength to it, but such a sexiness. It's like, listen to me, commanding. Baila conmigo. See. A deep, bassy, horny breakdown. I am a big fan of this. Love, love, love.
Love, love, love the song Who's That Chick? Love that kind of stuff.
Really thought that was fantastic, and I thought it just sounded like the sort of thing you would hear in like the charts. It's probably the most current song we've heard so far. I think of all of the songs that are going for that current vibe, it sounds the most professional, the best produced, the most like a complete package. I like the look of Kbello. The only thing I have questions of is how they bring that to the stage. It sounds like such a studio-ready song, but I'm not sure what they have planned, what tricks they have up their sleeve to bring it to a live setting. I need this performer to be confident. I need him to go for it. Interesting styling, because this is, of all the songs so far, sounds most like a winner. And honestly, maybe it's about time we had a male represent Spain. We've had 3 years of at least the lead singer being female, and I know that's what all the gays get behind, and I know that we all love that. I've loved all the last 3 entries by Spain, but I think this would be a really good different side of Spain, while definitely showing a part of their scene which is very current and you would hear in the Spanish charts, I believe. All that oomph, all that good shit.
Love that kind of stuff.
Moving on, song number 9 now. We've got Kingdom and the song is Mi Gustas Too. Are we going to get another one for me to rave about? Let's find out. This is cool. This is the first group we've seen so far. Sounds a little bit like a more poorly produced Noche Entera. Is that just me? It's got that same kind of like electro pop groove to it. It does feel a bit underbaked to me. Like I'm tapping my foot, but I'm not going like that. You know what I mean? This isn't driving me crazy. Like it's a good song. It's a solid pop song. It feels a bit derivative of other songs that I've heard like this, but done better. I would still listen to this. It's still a bop. I think when you're listening to all 16 songs that are just like straight up pop songs without like lots of shocks can sometimes blend in. But I think in isolation, this song is decent. Yeah, I think this is a good song. I think I was underrating that or underappreciating that during it. But I think that's purely because part of me was thinking, well, this sounds quite a bit like Noche Entera, but not as well produced. But then I was kind of like, well, actually, by the time I got to the end, I thought, well, that's not a bad thing. It was still catchy. It was still a good song. Not every song has to be like the most exciting song in the world. But I guess when you're in Eurovision, a song like this could get lost. I don't see this like lighting the scoreboard up. But in isolation, I think this really holds its own. It is a good song. I liked her voice. I liked the melody. It was catchy.
Definitely, I thought it was fun. I liked the beat.
I just think that it could blend in a little bit too much. I'm already thinking that by the time I get to like song 11 or 12, I might have forgotten how this sounds. But when it's on, it's good. A solid like 6.57 out of 10 for this song, and I would go back to it. So good for Kingdom. Song number 10 now. We're at 10 of 16, and we are moving on to Kuve. I believe the name is Kuve or Kuve, and the song is Loca. Within 5 seconds, I think this might be my kind of thing. I'm liking the pace of this song. Where is this taking me? Come on, take me there. This better be good. I'm a little bit disappointed. A little bit disappointed. I was like, come on. It's got that kind of like late 90s, early 2000s kind of like trance feel about it, very like Robert Miles. And that sound is kind of coming back through like Peggy Goo, so it's quite current. It is a good song, but it feels like it's slightly all build up, no payoff. Anything this time? I feel like I have musical blue balls, but I do like it. Certainly an interesting song. As I say, the whole song feels like a build-up. Like for like 40 seconds, it feels like the production going, here we go, 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 here we go. So when the payoff is ding dong, ding dong, it's like, oh. But like, I do like the vibe that it gives. As I say, it's giving me very like Robert Miles, that kind of like early noughties trance sort of thing, which is coming back. We are getting a bit of a trance revival, but I think there's something about the structure of how it takes you there, which doesn't allow it to feel like that kind of beachy, summery glow. Instead, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I wouldn't have done that here and I wouldn't have done that there. So It's an odd song, makes for a confusing first listen. I think this will start to make more sense with a third and a fourth listen. Once you know what's coming, you can kind of ride the wave and enjoy it for what it is. Again, I'm just putting my Eurovision head on and I'm like, is this the one? Not sure about that, but hey, again, I liked it. Let's not stop there. Song number 11 now. We've got Lachispa or Lachispa, and the song is Hartita de llorar. Let's keep the quality going. Liking this start. I've got a feeling this is gonna bang, but what a tender vocal. Period. Period. Wow. Yeah! Please nail this live, because this is it if she can do this live. Ugh. Definitely Rosalia vibes, but there's enough uniqueness about it that I'm enjoying it in its own right. It doesn't feel like a tribute. I'm hearing fire, I'm hearing flames and vocals. In terms of a Eurovision entry, that's it so far. Point blank period. Until now, the winner that I've heard was Kbello with V.I.P. My concern for that was, it's a great studio track, how is it going to translate live? This, like, I already have it pictured in my head, because like the tenderness, but almost like a cappella vocal heavy beginning, and then the is just calling for like an influx of flames. I can hear the roar of the Eurovision audience. It really captures a drama and takes you on a journey the whole way that you're like, we can't let up here. But I don't think it does it in a way that it alienates you. In the past, look, we absolutely loved AIA by Blanca Paloma, but my reaction to that first time was like, oh, okay, I've not heard anything like this before. This is going to take a bit of getting used to. For me, this takes no getting used to. I think irrespective of the language that you speak, there is such a drama, such a grit to this. And I think even if you stripped away the vocals, the production for this is super strong, it's super dramatic. And then if you were to strip away the production and have it as a vocal only song, Lachispa's vocals are exquisite. If they can bring those vocals live with such precision, this is a no-brainer for me. This is so good. It is quality, it is current, it is exciting, it's adventurous, it's representative of the Spanish cultural identity of their music scene. As I said, it gives me Rosalia vibes, but not in a way where I'm like, well, this sounds like a Rosalia song. Like, it still definitely had its own identity from Lachispa. She put enough into it that I'm like, okay, I think I get who you are as an artist. This now is the one that I'm most excited to see live, and this is the one that most had my head going, I see this at Eurovision. Okay, we're on to the final 5 songs now. This is Lucas Bunn, and the song is Te escribo en el cielo. More beautiful vocal tones. This is interesting. Again, I always struggle after I've just absolutely really strongly loved the entry before. It's hard to come down onto the next entry, especially when it's a bit more low-key like this, but this has beauty in its own right. It is really beautiful in its own right. The strength in the vocal is super impressive. Quite like the almost understated nature of the backing track to allow the vocals to shine. Fair play. Again, very good. I mentioned when I was talking about, with Henry Semler's song earlier, that like male-led ballads aren't always my favourite thing. And is this one that I'm going to play the most? Realistically, probably not. But again, it would be a fool of me to ignore the beauty of this. The vocals are fantastic. It felt quite understated, but when Lucas wanted to turn up the power and the strength and the emotion, it was there for all to see. And I think this will have some fans for that reason. And now that I've heard this, I'm maybe thinking that Henry's song was less strong, and if you're gonna pick a ballad, I think this is the one with a bit more grit and a bit more heart behind it, and I think it carried a bit more of a story. So I did prefer this. Can you really say this is a bad song? Absolutely not by any means, and this is gonna hold its own in a run of some songs that are all bells and shocks and whistles, but this is just simplistic and beautiful. Okay, we've got the last 4 songs now, so we're moving on to song number 13. And this is by Mawot, and the song is Raggio de Sole. This feels mature. I get the impression this must be an older performer. I'm not sure I saw it going this way, but... I'm unsure about this so far. Sometimes it feels a little bit amateur to me. The vocals don't feel like super well mixed into the production. I think I like this. I just don't think the mixing sounds great. Maybe that's just my laptop, but his voice sounds weirdly like exposed on top of the instrumental. It's got energy behind it, but again, I think I've spoken about this for songs before. I don't think it has levels. I feel like I've had the same kind of beat crying at me for the last 3 minutes. I don't think that's for me. For me, that's my least favourite so far. I mean, even with some that I'm like, this is not necessarily my thing, but I understand it. I'm not sure I quite understand how this fits into like a 2025 lineup. It does feel a little bit dated to me, something you could have probably heard like 20 years ago in this competition. And I don't think it's competing with many of the other entries. I don't think like what it does particularly well. It feels retro, but not like retro brought into a current age, just like retro in a way that's like struggling to keep up. I don't think it sounds particularly well produced or mixed. Like, it's not bad, it was a diet bop at best, but yeah, paling in comparison to the rest. And I hear some of the other songs that are much more ambitious than this and just think, I don't see how this stands out. Well, on the last 3 songs now, we're going to move on to Mel Ömana, and the song is I'm a Queen. Let me be the judge of that, thank you very much. The Spaniards love doing that. They love like a really like angelic soft start, and then it's like, look, I've arrived. I like her voice. It's like animated, quite cartoonish. Ooh! Get the sword out, girlie. I can't work how I feel about this. I like what she's doing with her vocals. She's got such a range. I'm not sure, in comparison to like Lachispa, for example, Lachispa showed a lot of range, but I felt like the song made sense with it. I felt like this is a little bit more messy, but not with purpose than that song. There's so much going on in this song. I do like this bit on its own. It feels weird blended into some of the rest of the song. Very confusing song. Okay, some of my criticisms of this song are my compliments to some of the other songs, so it's going to sound slightly hypocritical. I do think it is a bit messy, and as I said, I have liked that in some of the other songs I've liked, but I'm like, oh my god, I didn't expect it to take me there, I didn't expect it to take me there. And that's what this song does, but I feel like it doesn't feel as well accomplished at doing that. It doesn't feel like everything serves a purpose. It feels like sometimes the shock value is there for shock value, but as a song, it loses a bit of flow. It doesn't have a full hook. It's trying to do a little bit too much. And I think it makes it hard to appreciate some of the beauty or some of the craziness because there's a bit too much going on. But Mel is definitely an interesting artist. This is an interesting song. There's certainly nothing to be bored about here. I think he could just do with a little bit tidying up in order to really let Mel's quality shine, because I love when the vocals are a little bit cartoony, and I love that they could be soft, and then I love that they could be powerful. Somewhere there is a song in this that will allow all of those sides to shine in the best way possible, but I feel like this veered off the edge of being unique and fell into being just a tad too messy for me. And I think there is a fine line. A lot of these songs in this selection fall on the right side of that line. I'm thinking like Lachispa, DeTeresa, but this just a little bit too messy. Right, we're moving on to the second to last song now, and this is Melody, and the song is Esa Diva. I feel like I've seen this name in a previous Benidorm Fest. So let's see what they're gonna bring. We've got more sexy ladies. Spain has no end of them. This feels the most Eurovision and the least Benidorm Fest, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the songs like have a very specific Spanish feel about them. Other than like the odd flamenco guitar thrown in here and there, I feel like you could translate this onto English and throw it in Melody Festival or Melody Grand Prix. But I'm enjoying it, that's not necessarily a criticism. It's definitely a well-crafted pop song. This is going to be fun on stage. I think it's going to feel like a real camp party. It feels very gay. This is a very gay song. It's certainly one that will be fun live, let's put it that way. Boom, boom, boom. You can hear like the Eurovision by numbers, like I know what's coming next structure to this. Well, that was, of all of the songs so far, that sounded like what people's idea of a Eurovision song is, but we're talking maybe like 20 years ago. Nonetheless, it brought a smile to my face. It was a fun pop song. I have no doubt it's going to be very fun performed live. I think Melody is going to absolutely bring it to the stage. And I definitely had a smile on my face. I enjoyed it. I think the songs that I end up leaning more towards, like in my favourites, are ones that I feel like are like super representative of showing Spanish culture, or they feel uniquely Spanish. So it lacks a little bit of identity, but if you're looking for fun, this is fun. If you're looking for camp, this is camp. It definitely ticks all of those boxes and brings a new energy to these 16 songs. It will stand out, and I think it will be very good live. And hey, any song that brings a smile to your face, you cannot turn your nose up at that. So good for Melody. Diva. Okay, we're moving on to the last song now by Sonia y Selena, and the song is Reinas. Now, this is the song I was most excited to hear. I know their song Yo Quiero Bailar, thanks to my friend Jade, who showed it to me a few years ago. Really like that song. I am ready for another camp ending to what has been a great Benidorm Fest 2024. So let's see what Reinas, which I believe translates as Queens, we've just had a diva, this is the Queen, let's see how they're going to deliver it to me for Benidorm Fest 2025. I'm already obsessed with this cover. It's kind of something how I expected it to sound so far. I definitely predict the Spanish public are going to like this, the gays in the audience are going to like this. I didn't know if they would come back and try and bring something super modern. This doesn't feel super modern, it feels very throwback. I don't think it's super competitive though. I feel like I've ended with the two songs that are most like Eurovision by numbers. A little bit dated, but fun in their own right. I know the crowd are going to love this, and I know they're going to bring it live, and it's another song bringing a smile to my face. Woo! Hey! This is fun. What if it does win? Camp, camp, camp. I am going to love seeing that live, I have absolutely no doubt now. As I said, I don't think this is competitive. If this did go to Eurovision, I don't think it would do very well at all. This is like, it's giving 2005, not 2025. If we're not thinking about this like actually winning, let's just enjoy this as being like a celebration of two iconic women coming back like 24 years after they tried to actually make it to Eurovision the first time. They didn't make it then, they probably won't make it now. But this is fun, this is pop, this is camp, there's so much joy to be felt from this. I had a smile for the full 3 minutes, and if that is what purpose this is going to provide, then I'm all here for it. I want to hear it in Euro Club, I want to dance to this, I just want to feel the glitz and the glamour and the joy, and I just think it's a really fun closer for me that I'm like, oh, I'm glad we left this till last, and it's rounded out what has been a very good Benidorm Fest in a very joyful way. Well, we finally got there, 16 songs later. If you made it all the way through to the end, then I love you lots, because God knows my attention span wouldn't. But that was good. That was much better than Benidorm Fest 2024 for me. I really thought the quality has gone back up again, and it feels like these songs are here to appeal to the Spanish music scene and not the wider audience, and I think that is definitely the correct way to go. I still love that they're really trying to represent their own musical map and their own culture. I'm going to tell you my top 3 now. My number 3 would be La Casa by Celine Van Heel. Gave me all the salsa vibes. It was very loyal to that traditional feel, but I love that it went all in on that. It didn't try and be overly modern, but it was super fun. It would really stand out on the Eurovision stage for not trying to be super modern. That's one that could really come alive when we see it live, and I'm really excited to see that. My second favourite, I'm going to go for V.I.P by Kbello. That's the one that felt to me the most modern. It felt like such a party vibe. I was fist pumping, I was dancing the whole time. And if there is a male who's going to represent Spain after many years of females, I think this is the one. As I say, I wrote down yes please, full stop with an underline on my notepad, and CCC, I want more. My winner, however, it has to be Lachispa with the song Hartita de llorar. That for me, it just ticked every box of what I've loved about so many Spanish songs in the past, not just Eurovision. We're talking Matomami herself, Rosalia. It's what I loved about like Fusa Nocta 2 years ago, but it's something that Spain do so well, where they mix this kind of like tender vocal that's like angelic, and then they suddenly hit you over the head with like a boom that you're not expecting, and then it will go back to something different. I'm rooting for Lachispa, but that top 3 for me, they are all like 9 out of 10 rooting for Lachispa. Fingers crossed, Spain take a chance on that. If it fails again Blanca Paloma style, you can only say, well, you failed sending an incredible song yet again, and there is no shame in that. So that's what I think. What do you think? Do you share the same favourites as me? Are you a fan of Lachispa, or do you think that I've really underrated people like Sonia and Selena, David Afonso? Let me know who your favourites are. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. As I said earlier, please subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, hit the notification bell, all of the above. But for now, we're going to wait until the end of January to find out who will reign supreme in Benidorm Fest 2025. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Sending love to all of you in Spain. What a great selection. And for now, adios.